gloves are useful for their purpose, but they are no substitute for brains.
All right, here we go.
I have to say, well done, Ray. Well done. Well played, my adversary. Well played.
Phoenix isn't gay, but if he was, he'd pick Fremont.
Oh yeah, he'd be living down there with you in the bunker, man. Woo!
Once you go free, you'll always do the Z.
Like one day I'm not going to Dunkin' and you could get a controller, a new Xbox, possibly even a cord.
Now your host's back from Dunkin' Donuts.
Welcome to BGFG episode 427. I'm your host, Chris Phoenix, and joining me, as always, my brother from another mother, the man from what feels like sometimes a different country, Mr. Fremosy.
Why? Why would you say that?
Because I've been down
Different
there.
county, maybe?
Okay. All right. Different county. It's small up here and it's fucking cold. Like I hate how cold it is right now.
Oh, I know. It got a little chilly down here today. We might make 50.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. It really is. It's below freezing up here. It's cold. Damn cold.
Hey, I've offered. Come live down here.
I know.
You
I know.
don't want to do it.
Oh, believe me, it's getting closer than you think with all the job situations up here. It's getting miserable. Myself and my wife are going through the same type of issues at our jobs because it's just, and we'll probably touch upon this another time, but we might as well just do it a little bit now. Probably the new year we'll do a segment on a show about the way big businesses handle, and I believe you're going through a similar thing as well, where it's just it's like we heard it in the 80s, and then 90s it kind of failed, early 2000s, and then now it's like all back. It's the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and there is such an unbelievable difference between the people that are the workers and the people that are management. The pay differences used to be back in the day, but be like $2 or $3 an hour. That was the pay difference between the two positions. Now it's astronomically different. It's tens of thousands of dollars difference, and the management is essentially untouchable. I'm not saying management because I've been there. I'm not saying management doesn't have its own headaches. Not saying that at all. From supervisors up, it doesn't have it has its headaches, but at the same time,
Mid management and below, and mid management and above, two separate worlds.
oh, completely two separate worlds, completely detached.
And there's a gray area around that middle management layer.
Yeah.
You got people in that range, and they'll never go higher just because they don't want to be one of those people.
Right. Yeah. I get pushed often about management, and I'm like, just simply don't want that. I know how much it pays.
And then the ones that are there that are trying to get higher are the ones that make a living hell for everybody below them.
Yep, I would agree. I would agree with that 100%. But let's get into this week's news because we have a rather big show. We're doing gifts for gamers and gifts for him this week. So let's get some news out of the way, and then we'll get into the fun stuff.
Okay, well, that's it for the news. Our song this week.
You heard it here third.
So first up,
that's how I would get news out of the way.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. First up in this week's news is 23andMe. We've talked about it on the show before. My wife's done it. I don't know if you've done it. I have not yet, but I want to because it's a curiosity factor in a lot of ways of seeing what you're.
I mean, it's a great way to turn in your personal DNA so they can target you later.
That is true. I think partially that's probably what's holding me back is my tinfoil hat's going, like bells are ringing, like that's a lot of information, man. But 23andMe unfortunately announced that they've been hacked. So just put this in the string of everybody else. And I know when we talk about it on the show a lot, I get feedback sometimes that, man, you guys talk about getting hacked a lot. It's a big deal in the world. And I think if people don't realize it, because I get a lot of questions. I don't know about you, but I get a lot of questions of how did this happen? I don't understand. I don't give my credit card out online. Have you purchased anything online? And then I explained the whole data broker process. And they're like, oh, right. So you're fiddling around on fucking Facebook and I explained to people that you are the commodity now. Your name, your email address, and your phone number is really all they want. It's a federal crime for anything else.
True fact. Someone used my wife's phone number yesterday when they were registering with something, and within 20 minutes of them clicking accept and not reading everything they were accepting, her phone starts blowing up. Text messages, phone calls for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like from all this stuff, not even associated with what the person was registering for, but it was like as soon as they hit accept, they're like, okay, sell that.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so unbelievably true. It's sad, but it's true. I mean, 14,000
So when your
people.
phone starts blowing up on Christmas,
Merry
Merry Christmas, Phoenix.
like that never happened before. So originally 23andMe announced that 14,000 people's personal data were compromised. And that turns out not to be true at all. It turns out that it was actually around 5.5 million people of their 14 million subscribers were affected.
Yeah.
Now, here's my take on this, because and this is the only reason why I brought this up. What exactly did they take? Like, if they hacked my account on 23andMe.
Okay, but here's the thing, 23andMe, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure your name is on there.
Yep.
Your address has got to be there because they got to send
Correct.
you the packet.
Yeah. Right.
That's two vital pieces of information. It ain't hard to go out and get the rest of it.
I disagree because if you have your address and your name, I mean, that's usually public knowledge. I mean, you can get that at almost any public platform. You really can. You know, but, and of course, let's not discount the geniuses over on Facebook that put every piece of information possible on there. You know, to better help you search for your high school friend because they fucking matter. But you're going to get access to who I'm related to. Now, granted, that could count for, making a false ID somewhere or something. But at the same time, like, how much information is really on 23andMe? I don't know. You can go so many different ways to figure out.
Name, birth year, relationship labels,
Right.
DNA, ancestry,
Yeah.
self-reported locations.
Yeah. I'm not seeing anything that's super, super vital. Like, if you cracked into Fidelity Investments, that's a fucking problem. But 23andMe, I don't think it's that big of a problem. I mean, it's not a problem. You should be more secure, 23andMe, but it's not completely the end of the world. Change your passwords and stop using biometrics. That's what it comes down to. Because it's going to be
The hell
easier.
you say?
What? You're out of your mind. You're going to tell me that biometrics are worthwhile.
You know how easy it is to get into all my apps? I just got to tap, tap, tap.
I get that. And the Face ID on Apple. I knew you were going to go this way, dick. Yes, I agree. The Face ID stuff, but the fingerprint biometric stuff. Last week, Blackwing Intelligence published a document that they could work around biometrics quite easily. And they tested and were able to circumvent 3 different readers: Dell's, Lenovo's, and Microsoft Surfaces. And like Apple, Microsoft keeps that information on a separate chip on the board for added security. Now, you and I have talked at length about that is a great idea. Both Apple's Pay and their fingerprint biometrics are kept on different chips. Brilliant idea, safe. But there's a lot of other protocols. If you read the article link in the show notes, there's a lot of other protocols that are just kind of wide open and sloppy programming. And once you can circumvent that, and you can do that with a Raspberry Pi. You can put a Raspberry Pi next to a computer, plug in, hijack the fingerprint codes or the information on that chip, and it's not secure. And I've been telling people that for years. I can't tell you how many people I've had come in and say, my fingerprint reader's not working. Okay, what's the password to get in? I don't know. That's one of the biggest pet peeves I have of the job I do. You should always know your fucking password. Always. Always, always, always.
Yeah, we'll take care of that later.
Yeah. You can't be accessed remotely, but if the person does have your laptop, they can bypass your biometrics. Now, 9 times out of 10, your password is probably not safe anyway. But I think
Well,
that
I mean, here's the long and short of it. I don't care how well a system is designed. Somebody out there is going to break it. And that's what I tell people all the time. They're like, I'm so worried. I'm like, look, if it happens, it happens.
Right.
There's mechanisms in place to deal with it.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do to avoid it other than go 100% analog, which is not possible in this day and age.
Correct. I mean, I just had another problem with a checking account. I have
unless
multiple.
you get paid in cash and you do all your transacting with money orders.
Well, we've talked about it
And
on the show.
even then, you know, you're on camera somewhere buying something.
Right. And in past episodes, we've talked about it before where I suggested using multiple checking accounts, using one just for the digital realm and keeping only like $20 in there, which is fine. One of my accounts got compromised. Just a floated check came in requesting $100 and random dollars. Don't know where it came from or anything, but they shut down the account. Now, again, you get that alert, you get that text message.
I really needed to make that payment my water bill that day.
The fucking lost my train of thought, you dick. So when you have proper things like Fremo said in place where you're going to get alerts when there's a weird thing happening in your credit card or your checking account, pay attention to that shit and sign up for that shit. Because I got that alert, quickly contacted my wife and said, do you know anything about this particular bill? And they were like, no. I'm like, okay, fine. So we contacted the bank and they quickly shut down the account for fraud. And we created another account and moved all the money in there. It is a headache, hassle, and horse shit because you now have to take away all your direct deposits and your direct pays. But at the same time, I still knew about it, stopped it, and just moved on from there. So it's not too bad. What do you got going on over there?
Well, you want to show Phoenix your tattoos?
Oh, you finally tattooed up the young lad, huh? Nothing like
Oh, yeah.
tattooing up a toddler. Throwing some ink on him.
Yeah, he's got
What do you got?
he's got some here, hold your hand flat. Okay, that'll work.
Ooh.
There's Gary.
Gary. There's nothing wrong with Gary. Gary's
From
unsung
SpongeBob.
hero. Yep.
And of course, SpongeBob.
That's some nice ink. Good lines.
Oh, yeah. You
Oh, hey, got to throw an ankle tattoo on there, huh?
yep.
Nice.
Oh, and Sandy.
Oh, and Sandy's over there on the thigh.
Oh,
You're completely inked up, man. Next thing you know,
he's got ink everywhere. He literally the pack had like 30 something in it, and he's covered front, back. He's just like, put them on.
That's awesome.
All right, go find Mimi.
So out of left field, which kind of surprised me in a lot of ways. So climate change is a thing, and the climate summit leader declared last week that the fossil fuels are okay.
Climate change is a thing. Can you define that statement?
How can I define it without getting hate mail up my ass?
Like climate change as in their seasons?
No. Here's
or
the
climate change as in there's a natural process on the planet where it goes through cycles of warming and cooling.
Yes, and we've kind of debunked this on the so if you talk to scientists or you listen to our show, you'll find, not that we're scientists, but you'll find out that like there was a core sample taken from the Arctic, which proved that the Earth, as it tilts, gets closer and farther away from the sun, creates climate change, dips and valleys and hills, like Fremo's just saying. Now, are we hurting the planet by doing other things? 110%. Absolutely. Not helping. But the whole climate change thing.
And when he gets tired of it, it's going to shake us off like some fleas.
Right, because it's Earth. But Sultan Al-Jabbar, who's the oil executive somehow leading the climate summit, stated that there's no science that phasing out fossil fuels will help. I thought this was
correct.
The funny, right, but it should have been somebody else that said it, other than the guy that is an executive.
Yeah, he's not he's not the poster boy for the fossil fuel isn't hurting the climate.
Yeah, you're not going to see him on a poster for clean energy.
Yeah,
he's making all of his money from oil, so it's hard to take that from him. But he's not wrong. At one point, he answered a reporter by saying, and I quote, "Show me a roadmap for a phase out of fossil fuels that will allow for sustainable socioeconomic development, unless you want us to all go back to living in caves." And again, he's
And
not
he's
wrong
right.
with that. Yeah.
He's right. I'm not against phasing out fossil fuel and going with clean green energy. I'm not against that.
No.
I'm against wrecking society to get there,
Correct.
which is what they're trying to push. We do not have the infrastructure. We do not have the technology yet.
Nope.
We're making progress.
We're working. Yeah.
But it's not possible. It is not possible.
No.
I mean, look at, I think we've probably discussed some of these before, but, look at what happened in Texas when they had really cold weather 2 years ago with all the brownouts.
That was awful.
Imagine if everybody had electric vehicles.
Yep. Can't come to work today.
They would never have recovered.
Yeah.
The infrastructure would have crumbled.
And speaking of the electric vehicles,
Literally would have caught on fire.
Don't think for a moment that your electric vehicle, that you're proud to, I went green and I bought an electric vehicle. Look at the cost of making that electric vehicle, where it's made, the batteries alone. I mean, is it a good choice? Yes. I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I'll always be a combustion engine guy, but it's not a bad choice. The idea of me being able to pull into my driveway and plug in my car and never hit a gas station again is not a bad concept. But you can't, like Fremo said, you can't shut off everything all at once. There's a lot of things that still are maintained with fossil fuels. Can you cut back? Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know how much of that vehicle outside of the batteries, and I'm just going to skip over the battery part of it because you still need fossil fuels to make batteries, but outside of the battery part of an electric vehicle, do you know how much of the rest of it fossil fuel is needed for?
Right.
A majority.
Plastics alone. I mean, there's so many different things. And when it comes to the health of the earth, I guess you could say, there's a lot of things wrong. And people sometimes isolate and look at one particular thing, like a fossil fuel. Clean energy is a great idea. Putting solar panels on your house is a good idea. The problem with a lot of this stuff is obscenely expensive right now. Like, you would have to take a mortgage out on your house to put solar energy on there to get feedback or payback from the electric company. Like, none of this stuff works properly. Like, it's just not a thing at this point in life. If you look at wind turbines, the wind turbine thing cracks me up too. So out here in Newport, which is a very uppity type place,
Wind is the most ineffective, inefficient energy there is.
But listen to this. They want to put wind turbines out in the bay in Newport. And every single person, oh, that's a little one. There's a little baby on the screen. Look at him.
This is Ezra. He's making his
BGFG
debut.
Ezra, how you doing? Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Nope, leave that alone. Great. Now he's calling Guam. Oh, yeah, Ezra. Nope, you don't need to bang on that keyboard. Then you'll be coming to see me to have it fixed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm doing.
No, not a clue. If it's not coded, then you don't know what you're doing. Don't look at me in that tone of voice, Ezra. I'll make fun of you, Grandpappy. So the wind turbines that they want to put up in the bay in Newport, all of the people, all the mansion people, and I don't mean mansions like, oh, I live in a mansion. No, these are like the old 1800s mansions. They're historic properties.
Yeah.
They're all complaining.
It. Beautiful.
Yeah. They're all complaining because when you look out these windows now, instead of seeing the beautiful scenery of the bay, you're seeing wind turbines. So they're all upset. Yeah. But these are the same people that go to the fundraisers or have a fundraiser for clean energy. Like, it's such a bullshit play right now for clean energy. It's just I don't know where I don't know where it's going to end, because you can't people like myself that might want to do some clean energy stuff like solar panels or an electric vehicle, because my wife and I travel short distances to work right now. So an electric vehicle will be worthwhile. They're so fucking expensive. And again, I swear to God, if I get one email on a fucking Prius, I'm going to lash out, because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like a decent vehicle that you would like to drive, whether it's a Tesla or Rivian. No, there's some that are really nice. There's a Rivian right now that I think does a pickup truck that does a crab walk. It's super efficient. If you want to get something fast, say if you're a combustion guy and you want a fast car, the Tesla's ludicrous mode is no joke. I mean, these cars are legit, but they cost so much money. They're so expensive. And then you have to buy the infrastructure most times. Like for me, to charge an electric vehicle not at my house, I would have to travel 2 towns over, plug it in, get a ride home, and then hopefully get there because you have to sign up for it. And if you leave your car there too long, because there's only like 4 ports, if you leave your car there too long, you get a fine. So now I'm like on the clock. I'm like, okay, we got to go over there at midnight and get my car. Like that's not economical. But putting the stuff on the 220 in my house might not be economical either, because now I'm going to be paying more for electricity. I got to get that put in, dedicated. So it's not always cheap. And I don't think this guy's wrong. But at the same time, like, put somebody else in charge to make those statements.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not the guy that makes
But,
billions on oil.
seriously, whenever I get into it with people on this, they're like, "Well, everything we're doing is wrecking the planet. It's changing the climate. It's getting warmer." I'm like, "Okay,
You're not
I'll get
wrong.
on board if you can answer one question.
Yeah.
Why did the last ice age end?" Because according to your timeline, we weren't on the planet then.
Right.
So why did the last ice age end?
Right. Yep. Because the Earth just
Because
consistently.
it's what the Earth does.
Yeah.
It gets hot, it gets cold. It gets hot, it gets cold. It's
Yeah.
a cycle.
It's not a bad. All right, let's wrap up the news this week with something actually entertaining. When I saw this headline, see, you're already giggling. When I saw this headline, I just went, "Yep, that's making the show." Not even a question.
I watched the entire 30 minutes.
Did you?
And I was so disappointed because they cut it off before they get to the end.
Oh. So a 12-year-old in Ann Arbor, Michigan, stole a construction forklift. Stole a
Did.
Oh, and then to top it all off, he was taken into custody. Like, you took this 12-year-old into custody? Kind of it's a little much.
Well, I mean, he did hit like 10 or 12 cars in the process. So
again, I get that,
and
but
it's a little more than, driving around hitting mailboxes with a bat.
yeah, it is a little bit more than that. And he did lead the police on an hour-long chase at about 20 miles an hour, which Freeman watched 30 minutes. I probably watched 9 or 10 minutes, and it was just like, oh, kid made a halfway decent turn. Popped the curb a little bit, but not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, he noticed he was about to go into that car. He swerved over. He struck around 10 cars or so.
Yeah.
And again, he shouldn't have done that. And if you read the story, there's a comment in there like, "We've known about this kid before." Like, what kind of criminal is this 12-year-old that you knew of this suspect?
He's already on the radar, yeah.
Yeah, he's already been in juvenile juvie court before. So this kid's got some issues, but the fact that he stole a construction forklift had me chuckling. I'm like, how many times have even as kids have you looked over and went, "Man, that backloader is just sitting there." Like,
Oh, yeah.
could I climb in
I mean,
that?
I ain't gonna lie, I've moved some equipment around before. That wasn't mine in my younger days. I mean, I didn't take it for a joyride like this kid did.
No,
but,
that's ballsy. I mean, that kid
they
just
show
went,
up. They show up at the work site the next day, and they're like, "Didn't we leave that over there?"
Oh, I love this kid's yeet factor. He went, "Yep, I'm taking it. That's all there is." All right, let's get to this week's music, and happily we're doing Christmas music. And here's another classic that we think is a great song, The Waitresses, Christmas Rapping. If you look at the link in the show, you'll see that I put up the video with the lyrics in case you don't know what the fuck the lyrics are to the Christmas rapping. Because did I tell you that where I work, they apparently are so cheap that they didn't pay for the rights to Christmas songs on the radio?
Yeah.
Like, they're getting janky covers that are open sourced and free music, and they're awful. They're completely awful. Ugh, it's annoying as fuck. All right, here's the Waitresses Christmas rapping. On the other side, we'll do some stick style and some shopping help for those.
That needed, which basically, guys, we're talking to you.
Till summertime, out to the beach to his boat. Could I join him? No, this time it was me. Sunburn in the 3rd degree. Now the calendar's just one page. Of course I am excited. Tonight's the night I've set my mind. I could do too much about it. Dashing through the snow, cause I bundled up too tight. Last minute, had to do a few cards, a few calls because it's RSVP. No thanks, no party lights, it's Christmas Eve. Gonna relax, turn down all of my invites. Last fall, had a night to myself. Same guy called, Halloween party. Waited all night for him to show. This time his car wouldn't go. Forget it's cold, it's getting late. Trudge on home to celebrate in a quiet way. With the boots back out in the snow to the only all-night grocery. When what's my wondering eye should appear in the line? It's that guy I've been chasing all year. Sending this one alone, he said. Did he break this year's been crazy? I said me too, but why are you? You mean you forgot cranberries too? Then suddenly we laughed and laughed, caught on to what was happening. That Christmas magic's brought this tale to a very happy ending.
Waitresses, Christmas Wrapping. You can't deny that song. Great song. What are you smiling about?
I hadn't heard that one in forever.
Oh yeah,
Just
Yeah.
put a grin on my face.
it's a great tune. There's classic songs, that represent Christmas. I feel a lot of ways. Now I know there's new ones, Ariana Grande and stuff like that, but
Ooh.
yeah, but you got to do the classics. You got to do the
Yeah.
classics. The last one we're doing this year is 12 Pains. I'll say it now because you can't get much better than the 12 Pains of Christmas, in my opinion. That is just one of those ones you have to smile when you hear it. So before we start stick style, we're doing our beers, and I have another whole garden because I have one left. Rolling Rock. You haven't had a Rolling Rock in a minute.
I have not.
That is nice. Cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers. Or as we like to say in Russia, Nastrovia.
Oh, of course, that's what we say. You're traveling there with Elon again, aren't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever.
Look,
gamey.
love him or hate him. I mean, you saw the interview he had.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. And
Can I
he's,
make it any
he's not wrong.
simpler than that?
Right. Yeah, that was great. So first up in
Hi,
gaming,
Bob.
first up in
If you're in the
gaming,
crowd.
we have PlayStation Plus games for the month of December. That's going to be Lego 2K Drive, which is getting good reviews. I feel like I need to try it. Lego 2K Drive, Power Wash Simulator, which is disturbingly soothing and fun. If you're like super bored, you can clean cars and houses and stuff with Power Wash Simulator. It's a strange thing, free, but you find yourself going, "Oh, I missed a spot." It's strange.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I could see just, zoning out to that right before bed, just
Oh yeah,
get your mind off
absolutely,
everything. Just
absolutely. And like if you do a fender, you hear a chime, like that section's done. It's like, oh, cool, and you're moving on. Last game is Sable. Don't know really a whole much about that. Moving on to Game Pass games because there's a lot of those. Again, Game Pass. We've said it before, or I've said it before. I love my PlayStation. Haven't turned it on in a minute though because I've been playing Starfield. But the PlayStation interface and hardware is wonderful. I love it. Guys, get your shit together with games. You released 3 games in the month of December. The 1 month that everybody's kind of sitting at home, kids are back from school vacation, college kids are back, and you released 3 games? Let me show you how this is done. Game Pass for Xbox released Remnant from the Ashes, Remnant 2, Spirit of the North, SteamWorld Build, Clone Drone in the Danger Zone. I just love saying that. I didn't come up with a funny one this month because that's hilarious.
yeah.
Rise of the Tomb Raider, While the Iron's Heart, World War Z, Goat Simulator 3, Against the Storm, Tin Hearts, and Far Cry 6. I guarantee you that you can find a game to play in that list
All day.
all day. PlayStation, Sony's going to get their shit together, man. Pissing me off. Speaking of what I've been playing on the PlayStation, when I do, and I'll probably pop over there in the next couple of days, I think. Fork Knife, one of our favorites over here. It's again, people can say what they want. It's disturbingly entertaining to play sometimes. Now they have solo ranked, which is always fun. But they just did an interesting upgrade with their new season. If you're playing, you might see a golden ring on the map. This is where I pause and I give you a moment because I say golden ring. You might see a golden
Okay.
ring on the map. I'm waiting for the jokes. Nope, nothing. I'm surprised
What's
in
with
you.
the golden ring?
Yeah, I expected pee jokes or something. The golden ring is actually another player on the map. That's why that golden ring is going to move. And there might be more than one. They're carrying what they call a society medallion, and it buffs your shields. So if you can
So
eliminate,
basically, it's a warning to stay away because
right, but if you get that guy, then you're going to take that medallion and you're going to buff your shields, and you can carry more than one of them. So if you see one on the map, you should probably stay away till the end, till you get down to like top 10.
you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get anywhere near that person if they have more than one buff. you can get medallions from the non-player characters, and if you've played that game before, the NPCs, some of them are difficult. Darth Vader was extremely difficult, in my opinion. There's some that are just difficult to kill. And if
That was
they're
just a
already,
psychological thing on your part.
it could be being a Star Wars fan. It very well could be. They're
It's
already,
Darth Vader. I can't take him on.
he did block a lot of my shots. But these NPCs are already buffed because they have the medallion. So they're going to be double tough. But when you kill them and you get that buff, that's pretty sweet. I'm interested to at least see how that works, how that plays out. It kind of interests me. But that is really it we had for games this week. There's not a whole lot going on because gamer gifts are next, my friend. So let's Yep. So let's talk a little bit about what to get that gamer in your life. Now, we're not saying that money's not an object. We're saying that this is stuff that they will like. You get the price range and an item that you want. You've heard, if you've listened to the show enough, you know the stuff that we recommend and the stuff that we don't recommend. For instance, if you wanted a headset, we're about to talk about a headset. If you wanted a cheap headset, you can go with an Xbox official Microsoft Xbox wired or wireless headset. It's a great headset, and it's under $100. Now, right now, we're about to talk about the Swiss Army
What I
knife of
use every
headset.
day.
Yeah, that's what Fremo uses right there.
Good stuff.
It is. The Swiss Army knife of headsets is finally out. And it's funny because it comes from Logitech, which is the ones that Fremo uses on the stream. Logitech introduced the Astro 50X. Now, I've shat on the Astros before because they were cumbersome. I didn't think they sounded as good as they could have. And, of course, you know, the Logitech G-Hub, which is...
I'm just going to go ahead and go on the record and say now that this is out from Logitech, I'm going to have to get a PlayStation so I can test it.
I would love to see that. Oh, I think every listener would love it. So they introduced the Astro 50X. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it comes with a dock that allows you to switch between a PlayStation 5, a Series X, and a PC all at once. It has all of the docking ports in the back of the holder. It's got 40 millimeter drivers, which aren't too bad. You get pretty decent bass response. 16-bit mic, which is always a good choice. Dolby Atmos built in, and it has Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone at the same time as you're connecting your good.
No, I was just going to say I have a Jabra Engage headset at work.
Yep.
Same principle.
Yep.
I've got my desk phone, my desk line coming into it.
Yep.
My computer, my cell phone, all hooked to it.
Yeah.
And
handy.
Yeah. I just put the little headset on, and doesn't matter who's trying to get in touch with me, Teams, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just hit a button to answer it.
Yep.
It handles the connectivity.
One SteelSeries that I had, ended up getting rid of it. I had my phone and the Xbox connected to it. And then the next one that I got, I just used the Bluetooth feature on the SteelSeries, which is one of my favorite headsets. I use the Bluetooth to connect to my stick style PC, and it works flawlessly. It's wonderful. This docking station for this headset has two HDMI ports, one for your PlayStation 5 and one for your Xbox. There's a USB-C that will connect from your PC into it. And you can switch it live right there. You can switch it on the headset. So you don't even have to be doing much. You can just switch it over. It supports 4K and 120 hertz pass through. So you can pass it right through to your monitor, which is awesome.
All right.
Little steep on price. It's $379. That is a lot of money for a headset. But if
I mean, it is, but if it works the way they present it as, it saves you money because you're not having to have multiple headsets.
Correct. And if you're a stream, especially if you're a streamer or a hardcore gamer, or idiots like us, or me, I should say, not even you, where you have a PlayStation, a Xbox, and you're streaming stuff, and I have multiple monitors, it's a good idea. Like, I'm interested to try it. It's just that price is a lot of money. But if your loved one and you're looking for that gamer wants something like that, this is a good choice. We've recommended SteelSeries in the past, the Arctis 9, which is an awesome choice if that suits you financially. But if you have the money to spend on your loved one, $379 for something like this, if they're playing all of those systems on the same TV or on the same computer, this is a hell of a price. 4K pass through at 120 hertz. That's going to do what you need it to do. And as we talked about before, one of the things that we happen to be playing a lot of, and I honestly I apologize to the stick style viewers because the highlight reel has not been quite what it used to be because we've been spending so much time playing Starfield. It's endless enjoyment for us. I can't put my finger on it exactly.
Yeah, at this point, I can identify what ship is landing on a planet because I've hijacked so many of them as I'm running around surveying.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's a UC mule. No point even going over that way. I mean,
and
I get a kick out of going, jumping on top of the ship that landed, shooting the people outside, and waiting for the ship to take off and drag me up to upper atmosphere and floating down. Sometimes I die, sometimes I don't. It's just good fun.
It's just good fun. I'm about ready to finish another playthrough. So I'll
I feel so inadequate.
No, because you've done like 4 times as much as me in the game where I've done more of the storyline. Like there's some, because now I've done it a couple of times, there's certain faction stuff that I'm like, nah, I don't want to fucking do that. That's annoying. It's going to take too long. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And I continue on with the story. And occasionally I'll pick up a little side quest here and there. Because there's a
Have you
lot.
come across
What?
have you come across some of the things you've heard me talk about and you're like, where is that even at?
Yeah, when you were talking about the clones, I was like, what game are you playing? Like where is the clone of Billy the Kid or whoever what the hell was the president that was in it? Truman.
FDR.
Oh, it was FDR, yeah.
Genghis Khan, Amelia Earhart.
Yep. I'm like, what are you playing? And I just read was it yesterday? Or doing the show notes, I think it was yesterday. I read another activity that's out there that I still I never heard of and didn't know at all. So there's
Which
other
one?
activity. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but I remember going, wow, that's unique and interesting.
Because
It
I
was
may
like
have done it.
it was something you get on Aquila, and it's some random like I think it's a dress or something like that. You have to buy this dress and then wear the dress. I don't know if I'm going to ever do that activity, but I just found it interesting and funny that there's another activity that we've never really heard about.
There's tons of stuff, man. Tons.
And some of them are big, some of them are small.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you're running around doing whatever you're doing, half the time you're not paying attention. But if you hear a snippet of conversation loud and clear, stop, look around, see who's talking, because there's something associated with that.
Yeah. Yep. Talking to people at different stores and bars, you can get all sorts of things there too. So it's fun. One of the things you can get a Starfield person in your life that you want is a wonderful Starfield Duvet. This is officially from Bethesda, and it comes with 2 pillow covers and a comforter or a duvet. Pillows and comforter feature white stars from the game, so it's that bluish background with the white stars, similar to all the other stuff you've seen for backgrounds for Starfield. The comforter has a rainbow
That is
stripe.
an awesome price for a duvet.
I know, $75 for the pillowcases and the duvet. That's a good deal. If you have a Starfield fan in your life, this is kind of a go-to. I don't think it's that bad, and you can get it right from Bethesda's gear storefront. And might I add,
to clarify, it is just the duvet cover.
right, just the cover.
For those of you who don't understand, the cover is what goes on the outside of the thing that most people call a duvet.
Yeah, so bring your own comforter.
Yeah.
And then this goes around it, which isn't that bad because a lot of people, like I have a favorite comforter right now that the wife got somewhere. It's got a good amount of weight to it, and it's nice. And I will put this on it all day. One thing I do have a gripe about the Bethesda gear storefront is that I went in there to look at some like shirts and sweatshirts and stuff, and like they only have it goes up to 2X. I'm like, what the hell? That's me.
They're
as a fat
doing their
person.
part to encourage gamers to be more active.
Okay, I'll go with that. That
Lead
sounds
a
good.
healthier lifestyle.
Yes, sir. I'll try. as I sip another beer.
without being brutally rude and honest.
All right, so maybe you want to get your gamer significant other or the
I just
gamer
got
in
to
your
let you know, man. You move down here, you're dropping some weight.
guaranteed just from the heat alone.
Just from you chasing me because you're so pissed off at all the shit I do.
That's quite possible. That is absolutely possible. Um, maybe you want to get them a controller. A controller is always a good idea. I unfortunately have a boatload behind me. But like my 20th anniversary Xbox remote that I use on the PC all the time, the buttons are starting to stick. And they're not, I'm getting a little bit of drift as well. So I might have to retire that one. You can get a customized controller from Microsoft for about $70. And if you know the colors and maybe the scheme, because they do have ones officially tied to games on Microsoft's website, so you can do those, or you can just customize it with their gamer tag, their name, and multiple colors for $70. But if you want something different, we've talked about it on the show before. I haven't gotten one yet because it's just I haven't gotten one yet.
we premiered this one was it last year or 2 years ago?
It's quite possible. It's a tremendous
At
controller.
least last year.
Yes. It's the Victrix Pro BFG. It's for the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. But what's great about this controller is, especially for the PC people, is it has interchangeable button modules. If you're looking at the show on YouTube, you'll see the blowout of the controller itself, where you can replace almost anything. So whether you're playing a fighter game that you need all 6 buttons, or maybe you just want your joysticks to be aligned correctly, like horizontally on the same horizontal plane. This is the controller for you. And the price really isn't that bad. It's $180. Now, if you want to get your gift, if you're giving a gift of a controller and you're thinking about the Elite controller from either PlayStation or Xbox, you're going to be around that same price point anyway.
Right.
This is a great choice if they are a if they're a PlayStation or an Xbox person, not really Xbox in this case, but $180 is a good choice, right? The PlayStation side, the Pro controller for the PlayStation, you can swap out the joysticks. This one's joystick modules, so you can replace those as well. So if you don't you don't get stick drift. I personally don't understand how people keep getting stick drift. I deal with that at work a lot. And I'm like, I've had all these controllers and we've been gaming for like 20 years. And I don't think this is the first controller that I thought last night might have had some stick drift. But what are you doing to your controllers? How bad are you beating on these things?
Yeah.
Like, are you breaking joysticks? I've never broken a joystick ever. Ever. I don't understand how this happens
I mean,
sometimes.
I've burned a couple, but
Also,
I haven't broken them.
and also a good choice, and I stand by this choice especially. If you don't know exactly what to get that gamer person in your life, child, adult, doesn't matter, always an expansion card is worthwhile because these games are getting massive. They are freaking massive. I think Modern Warfare 3 just clocked in at like 1 something.
It's 130 plus gig easy all day.
It's huge. So you're going to need to have some expansion. And if they have a Series X or a PlayStation 5, there is choices out there and they're getting better priced. The unfortunate thing is Xbox is proprietary. You have 2 choices, that's it. You have the official
It yes and no. It's proprietary if you want to be able to utilize it for gaming.
immediately.
Right.
Mm.
You can still plug a USB hard drive into it to save stuff too. You just can't play off that drive.
Right. You have to move the game over to the main drive, which can be annoying. It can take some time. But the official expansion for Xbox comes from Seagate, and you can get it at 512 gigabytes for $90. Please don't buy that one for that person.
It's a waste.
It's I see the
It's
price
literally
point,
a waste.
but
You might be able to wedge 2 games on it. Plus, I mean,
game saves, yeah. The 1 terabyte is kind of where it's at $150, and the 2 terabyte for $280 is still a little bit expensive, but believe me, they will love you for that. 2 terabyte expansion is delightful. You can put anything on it. Western Digital has an option for the Xboxes as well, but it's only $10 less per size. It's less money, but it's not that much less money. And I always feel, I've always said, even customers that I have, I've said the same thing over and over again. Can you get the Western Digital? Yes, it's Western Digital Black, and I love Western Digital. But there is a case for your customer support people to turn around and say, that's not an official Xbox expansion card. You might want to try one of ours that have been tested and authorized. And it's like, oh, okay, you dick.
Yeah, I would prefer Western Digital.
I-
But
Yeah.
for that very reason, right there.
Yeah, because that's
You
a
know.
that's a loophole. That is a loophole.
Oh,
I've had
it's,
that.
I mean, they could even, if something went wrong with your Xbox console
Mhm.
and you had an unauthorized expansion card in it,
Mhm.
they could blame it on that card
and
then
void
you're
your warranty.
screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an unfortunate truth. I mean, I've had to deal with like iBuy computers where somebody takes it home, they buy the computer with only 8 gigs of RAM, knowing that they're just going to buy 16 gigs of RAM because it's on sale or a good price right now. So they're going to upgrade it. But if you have a problem with that computer and I try to send that into iBuy for repair under warranty, they will send that shit right back because you voided the warranty because you put a different part in it. Even though it's stupid because it's a custom PC, it's designed to be replaced. If you didn't want to do that, go buy like an HP or some other crap gaming computer. And we say that knowing that people are looking at buying some of this stuff for their kids or whatever. Talk to somebody at the place you're at or somebody that knows gaming better to get a good suggestion on what you need to buy. Because some of these things, like I want to say it's like the HP Victus or something like that. Oh, the Omen. The Omen from HP is unbelievably bad. It's
Okay,
just
I'm just gonna put it out there. Don't buy HP.
Yeah,
Period.
I would agree. Printers,
Now,
their printer company,
there are some good units that they put out. There are some good SKUs that they put
very
out,
few.
but it's just not worth the hassle dealing with HP.
No,
They are crap
no.
for the most part. Just stay away from them.
Yeah, even their printers. I don't even
Hate mail
suggest their
goes to
printers.
Chris Phoenix.
I'm okay with that because I'll just list which HP do you have as garbage. It's the same thing with their printers. Their printers break all the
Now,
time.
back in the day, the old school, the Optiplex desktops,
Yeah.
man, you could literally wail on those things and they'd still work.
Yep. Now, if you did want an expansion for a PlayStation 5, you're in a little bit better luck. They're easy to install. There's a video on StickStyle on YouTube that shows how to install a NVMe M.2 into a PlayStation 5. And yes, Fremo, it is literally sliding it in. It's obscenely easy to do. You're going to get an M.2 NVMe SSD. Western Digital makes an official one with a heatsink on it already. And you can put in, this is, again, where I love PlayStation. I want Sony to get their shit together because your expansion on the Xbox is limited for realistic purposes. Like we talked about, you can get an external. But for the internal automatic ones, you can only top out at 2 terabytes. With the PlayStation 5, you can put up to 8 terabytes of storage in there. And it's a direct feed. There's no lag. There's no, I got to swap it between the two.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
With those 8 terabytes, you'll be able to put the entire collection of PlayStation 1 through 5 games and still have 6 terabytes left.
That's evil. That's wrong. Oh my God. Which it's again will be just all the God of War games. It's really what it is. The 2 terabyte M.2, which is a very comfortable spot to be in if you have a PlayStation owner in your life. The 2 terabyte Western Digital will set you back $180. That's a hell of a deal. It's $100 less than the Xbox version of the 2 terabyte. So it's definitely something to look at for them. It's good stuff. That's what I would recommend getting gamers. Now, there's other stuff you can get like chairs. You can get a chair, but now you're talking into the $500, $600. If that's something, I know Corsair just released their desk.
Yeah, there's always, if you just really don't know, you're looking for your grandson, little Johnny, something to get him. Find out whether he's got Xbox or PlayStation or both, and you can get
What?
somebody was backing that shit up.
That's good.
You can just get him a gift card.
That's true. That's true.
For Microsoft, or even, if you know that they're still doing Fortnite like crazy, get them some V-Bucks. They sell those at the freaking store now.
Yeah. V-Bucks cards, if they play Fortnite, they'll love you for that.
I mean,
And
that would have been a hot item a few years ago, but I mean, just along those lines.
So
anyway.
let me before we get to the last segment, let me just say, if it's a kid that you're getting this gaming stuff for, let me explain to you how this is going to work. You get them V-Bucks or a gift card or any sort of thing like that, you're not going to see them for the rest of the afternoon. You got it all to yourself.
Yeah.
If you get them an expansion card, you're not going to see them for about an hour, and then you're going to be annoyed all the afternoon because they're going to be downloading every game humanly possible. Your internet's going to suck for the remainder of the day. But after that, you're not going to see them because all the games that they wanted are going to be downloaded now.
Unless you do what our household is getting ready to do, and that is put 2 lines in.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Oh, before I forget, if you are
One for everybody else, one for me.
oh, that's pretty sweet right there. One thing I forgot to put into the show notes this week, the third choice on those, especially gift cards, is Steam. I always neglect to mention
Yeah.
those,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Steam, a lot of kids, 2 of my 5 use Steam often. Steam gift card is another good choice because you can
And we're not
easily
talking about cleaning people.
no, but there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games on Steam that they can get with gift card for there. So Steam is a good third choice. Even if they're not into playing Steam, they'll get into playing Steam if they have a $50 gift card. Let me tell you, because there is
Yeah.
a shit ton of games on there. All right, let's get into the last piece. This week is gifts
Actually,
for
a lot
him.
of bang for your buck there too, because they got a lot of really good deals on games
Yes, they do.
that they do on a regular play. I mean, they do like, I don't know what you want to call them, clearance
Bundles.
sales, but
Well, they do
whatever.
bundles.
Well, they do that as well. But I mean, you'll go in there and find a game for like $1, and you're like, absolutely, I'll pay $1 for that.
I grabbed a bundle on them one day for Star Wars games, and it was like 16 games for like $15. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like a no-brainer. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I wasn't really going to play through all these again, but for that price, I have to.
Exactly. That's the price. Yeah. So let's get into gifts for him. So for those that are listening, these are gifts that most guys want or need. I'm a big believer in getting gifts that are needed, gifts that are going to be used for somebody. There's always the funny gifts and the good gifts and the gifts that they ask for. But if they don't give you an idea, get them something that they're going to need or they're going to use. Just
like a good camp axe.
Yes, a good camp axe is always a good choice.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. It's larger than a hatchet, but not as big as a
I
full-blown
know what
axe,
you're talking
you know.
about. It's a good choice,
A
especially if
little
they're
easier to
campers.
conceal, more reach than a hatchet.
I feel like I'm going to get a phone call one day. So the first one that we bring up this week is actually it's good for a lot of different people, and I want to put it in there because I suggest this at work all the time for people. Now, it's called Clever Fox Password Book. Fremo and I have gone at length to tell people and the sheeple on our show that you should not have a honeypot on your computer. And a honeypot is an Excel document, Word document, or a note that has all your usernames and passwords, because that's the first thing a hacker's looking for. After that, they're just trying to manipulate you to get your bank account number. But if they do get in there and you do one of these cold calls or call Microsoft or whatever the hell it is, if they get their hands on that, they will sever the connection and just go into every single one of your accounts.
Yeah, they've got everything they already need. So
Yeah, so don't do that. If you're using our 3-password rule, you might not even need that. But this is a good choice for a lot of different reasons. Get it for a grandparent, especially if you wanted to. It's got multiple colors. There's multiple sizes of the book, and it's got A to Z tabs in it. It even has a section for your Wi-Fi and your email settings. So if you're the one that helps, you're the tech support in your house, this is a great idea to give. It's not expensive. It's $15 to $20. And it's something that they can use over and over again. Like, here's a password book. All your passwords are in here. The most easy to work with clients that I get are the elderly that actually have a notebook with all, like, and it's literally an old phone book, and they have all their passwords in there, whether they don't cross them out or update them, whatever, but they all use them. I still have one in my phone that is called Wallet, and it's designed for passwords. And my wife and I use that exclusively, and it synchronizes. It's a wonderful little piece. But that's for those obscure passwords. Like, there's some passwords I'm not using the 3-password rule for because I'm probably never going to go into that site.
grab wallet from phone.
That's a dick move right there. Oh, that would be funny. So then the next thing up, besides a password book, is an all-time go-to for any guy. I don't give a shit who they are. Is Manscape. If you haven't jumped on the Manscape bandwagon, you are missing out. And this isn't just, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's from safe to use shavers to ball deodorant to beard care. I didn't think I ever needed ball deodorant until I tried some, and I'm like, wow, that's fucking amazing. And their no-cut shavers are wonderful.
Yeah, literally, and whoever your significant other is will not only appreciate you having that, but they'll also end up using it themselves because they are phenomenal.
Yeah, they are great. Little light on them, guaranteed not to cut you. And believe me, there's nothing worse for a guy than going, all right, let me shave my genitalia, and then it's a nerve-wracking experience. And one time in my youth, I nicked myself, and that blood doesn't stop for a while.
One little nick on the scrotum, and
You're done for.
don't make plans.
And so they also offer beard care now, which is also nice. And it's the gold standard for groin grooming. It really is.
Yeah.
There's many, many different packages. I was going to put the prices in here, but there's so many different packages. You could do something like just the trimmer and the nose trimmer, the nose hair trimmer, which is also for the ears too when you get older. But it's for both of those, and even that is short money. Or you can go with a full set of deodorants and all sorts of other stuff. It's a good product, and your man is going to like it. I don't care if they've never used it before, ever. Get it for them, because when I first got mine, what?
The 5.0 performance package,
Yeah,
normally $257,
yeah,
$140.
that's a deal. That's a deal. And even if you're
I wish I'd
significant,
have waited till this year to buy it.
even
Could
if
have
you're
saved myself some money.
yeah, even the man in your life is going to sit there and go, I don't like that. I don't want to use that stuff. I don't need that sort of stuff. The intrigue alone when they get it is going to make them at one point in the shower or in the bathroom, whatever. At one point, they go, you know what? Let me try it. And it doesn't matter if it's not just for your balls. It could be for your chest as well, or fine tuning your beard. I mean, it's really a well put together package. It's not a shitty, like I get the wall trimmer, WAHL wall trimmer at like CVS for like $15 or something like that. And that shit breaks within like 3 weeks. I just go get another one. Whether the battery stops working or just stops turning on, it's a little shit throwaway product. These are not that. These are quality products. Really nice. And like Fremo said, that's a huge discount on that set. Next up,
Yeah.
and again, I don't know if this is going to be
And
just...
they're actually offering 4 interest-free payments of $35 a piece.
There you go. It's affordable now. Now, I don't know about down south, because I know sometimes you get like 3 inches of snow and that's it. Up here in the Northeast,
That's
January
it?
through March.
Are you kidding me? 3 inches shuts us down for days.
Oh my God. I remember the day. Let me tell a quick little story that was hilarious one day. So Fremo sends me, I said, are you gaming today? It was like my day off. I was like, are you gaming today? And Fremo goes, hell yeah, everything got shut down. I'm like, what do you mean everything got shut down? He's like, we got 3 inches of snow. He's like, they got plows out, everything got shut down. Kids don't have school or anything. I'm like, for 3 inches? I'm like, in the Northeast, 3 inches doesn't even get us a 1 hour delay for school. It's business as usual. So I go outside because we had just had a snowstorm. I go outside and you can't see any fences on any of the houses at the apartment I was living in. You can't see any of the fencing on the street. It's just plowed over. The street's just white. And I just sent you the picture. I'm like, this is what I'm looking at. I ain't going nowhere. I ordered takeout and that's it. So one of the things in the Northeast that I encourage people to get, if you're in a colder climate up north, anywhere up north, is especially that one guy. Hey, you know what? One guy in Alaska that's been listening to us for 15 years. Send us an email and tell us what boots you wear, because you're in Alaska and that shit's cold all year round. So I'm curious as what you do about that. Get
Well, if he's a real man, he has the same winter footwear I do.
What's that?
Hold on.
Are you taking it off?
Right
Oh
there.
my God. You are still rocking the sandals. What is wrong with
Yeah.
you?
Every day of every year.
Oh, whatever. So for the Northeast, I would recommend the Kamek Men's Nation Plus boot. It's cheap. It's $60 to $80. Now, is there better boots out there? Absolutely. Red Wing boots are phenomenal, but they're expensive. What I usually recommend for people is getting something like this because even in the Northeast, it's cold, but you don't need to wear winter snow boots all the time. These are going to be your snow boots. And for $60 to $80, they're pretty damn good. You're only wearing them a few times out of the year, usually within 3 or 4 month span, unless you're more north than I am. Then you're wearing them a little bit longer. But they're good. They're waterproof. They have a rubbered bottom half to them. And they're warm. They have a pull-out insole. Really nice boots. My wife has a pair like this, and I have a different pair, but I want to get these. It's short money, and it's good for the Northeast. I don't know down south what the equivalent would be because you guys don't get as much snow, but I'm assuming when you guys do get snow, you wear snow boots, or do you just wear your normal boots? I mean, normal people, Free, not you. What?
Yeah, snow boots aren't really a thing, but we do have a lot of rain.
Okay.
And obviously, if you're a hunter and you're outside in cold temperatures for a long time,
Yeah.
dealing with the mud and everything, you've got a good pair of boots similar to this.
Yeah. I like these because of the price point. It's not breaking the bank. Like Red Wing boots, which I feel are some of the best boots. And I had an actual discussion with
Red Wing, Wolverine.
Yep. You're talking
I
100,
mean,
180 and up. Like the last Red Wing boots I bought for work when I was working outside was $200 and something. They lasted forever. They lasted like 10 years. And they were so unbelievably comfortable. I could wear them all day and not even bat an eye. Waterproof, warm, everything else. So a good pair of boots is always a good choice to get somebody. And one of the next things I wanted to bring up was another thing that, and again, these are stuff that guys need or you're never going to hear no about. The next one is going to be jerky. Because I don't know if
we're talking about food, people.
So jerky is always a good treat for everybody. Every guy, I don't know of any guy that doesn't like some form of jerky. And what I recommend is the Newport Jerky Company. It is up around here, but I find that their selection. Now, Fremo's going to hit you with probably one that he uses down there when I get done, which is going to be more of the southern flavor of jerky, and they have more time to make it, and they're probably better at it in a lot of ways on certain jerkies. The thing I like about the Newport Jerky Company is not only can you buy it online and have it shipped to you, I've used them many times, but they have regular and exotic jerky. Like their exotic jerky can be shark, camel, octopus. I believe one time I saw aardvark. I didn't try that one though. They do sausages. They do vegan jerky, which doesn't make sense to me. They do insects, which not my cup of tea. They do bacon jerky. Delightful. They do sauces, jams, salsa, marinades, hot sauce. They have it all at the Newport Jerky Company. We have a link in the show notes. You can have it mailed to you. I'm a seafood fanatic. I love seafood, and the shark and the octopus are delightful. My wife does not allow them in the house. I have to eat them down in the studio because the smell is so fishy with the shark stuff that she just doesn't want it upstairs in the main living area at all.
Kangaroo jerky.
Yeah. A lot of it tastes like normal jerky because I've tried them all. I tried the sampler pack. They do have sampler packs you can get. And if you're not sure what to get a sampler pack. It's a good, like, if you like any sort of seafood, you will probably like the shark stuff. But if you're just into the regular beef, chicken jerky, what? You're looking at it now. What did you find?
The Rocky Mountain oyster jerky.
Yeah. You want to explain to everybody what a Rocky Mountain oyster is?
Testicle.
Say it again.
Testicle.
Oh, yes, it is. And that could be your jerky. What about down south for you? Is there like stuff like this, or is it just straight out beef and
Yeah, I mean,
marinated?
there's gourmet. There's gourmet ones out there. A lot of people just make their own down here.
Really? Yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense. Because Because I remember back in the day, you would go hunting.
Called self-sufficiency.
Right. And I remember back in the day, you used to go hunting and bag like one or two deer,
Yeah.
and you would have them skinned by a friend of yours, and then that was your meat for the entire.
No, I would skin them. I'd have the meat processed.
Oh, okay, okay. That I always admired you for that because I thought that was brilliant. You're like, I don't buy any meat for the whole winter, like at all. And you can make jerky.
Yeah.
You have steaks. What else did you have? Meatballs. There was like a bunch of shit that you.
Yeah, I mean, you roast. I mean, it's just like a cow, just different proportions. So anything you can get out of a cow, you can get out of a deer.
Right.
So steaks, roast, take all the scraps, grind it up, make sausage.
Yeah.
You know, ground venison for
Yep.
burgers, whatever.
And of course, you can make jerky out of that. Like a lot of times you would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a good idea. Try Newport Jerky Company. Get it delivered to you. Not a bad idea. And then the next piece is something that we talk about often, and I don't care what anybody says. I think it's a hell of a gift. I don't know if anybody that would get angry at that gift, which is comfy fucking house shoes. Now, let me explain what a house shoe is, because I'm a fan of these, and I got this. This is a
you know what a real man uses for a house shoe?
What's that, Free?
Right
a
there.
Sandal. A sandal. So there was my
From the bedroom to the boardroom.
My stepfather was from Denmark, and he kind of introduced me to a lot of different European type things. And one of the things that he said was house shoes, and he taught me all about these house shoes things. And I thought about it, and when I moved into this house from apartments that I've lived in, when I moved into this house, I'm like, I'm going to make this a thing. So when you walk into my entryway of my house, there is a shoe rack. And we encourage you to either take off your shoes and use your socks, or there's usually an extra pair of like Crocs or something that are there that you could throw on temporarily. And what I like about it is that I don't have to vacuum my floors as much or wash my floors as much. I still do, of course, but not as much. And it's more comfortable. Like if I'm just wearing my socks or something, I know I'm not going to step on something or get a lighter colored carpet dirty or anything like that. I find it comforting. And that's what a house shoe is. Slippers can be used like in the summertime. I'll use flip-flops. That I have a pair of flip-flops that are only used in the house because you don't want to go outside to get oil and track all that shit in. They have multiple colors. They're called deer foams. They're indoor and outdoor clogs, which at first I'm like, clogs, what the they're slippers. They're slippers with a harder sole. That's all they are. So they are indoor and outdoor. So you can't go out and get the mail, or you can't go out and get the paper, or run to the car or something, as long as you step in puddles and shit and drag it into the house. But they have multiple colors and fabrics for these. They have up to size 16, and they're short money. They're $25 to $32, and they're comfortable AF. Again, for the winter, for the colder times, you get these, and you use, sandals, flip-flops, I don't know, locker room slides, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, we would call these moccasins.
Yeah. So super comfortable. You can wear them in the house as much as you want, keep your feet warm, and you can run outside if you absolutely need to. Hell of an idea. I don't know anybody that would not want comfy shoes, comfy slippers even. It's just a thing. I mean, I used to walk around, when I was younger, I used to walk around barefoot or in my socks all the time. And once I started wearing, from my stepfather, once I started wearing like house shoes, I was like, why did I not do this before? This is delightful. Next up, and probably the last thing, is gloves. Who doesn't want a pair of gloves for Christmas? People can snark at it, make fun of it, but the first time you go to shovel snow or it's inclement weather and you're running outside, you're going to be pissed that you don't have...
What a real man uses for gloves.
What's that, Free? Oh, I did not know that you could use Jesus shoes.
Sorry, I had to keep the gag going.
I didn't know you could use Jesus shoes for gloves. My bad. Missed that memo.
It's the name Jesus shoes.
That's true. It does everything. The last thing we're going to talk about is waterproof insulated gloves. Especially in the Northeast, we do a lot of shoveling between January and March. I would encourage anybody to get somebody.
You definitely do a lot of shoveling.
Yeah, we do. I would definitely recommend getting a good pair of gloves for that person. Nobody's going to argue about it. Nobody's going to go, oh, what a shitty gift. Because even if they're thinking that on Christmas Day, I guarantee you, because I've done it, where I've gotten gloves. I'm like, fucking got me gloves? What the fuck? But then sure enough, that first snowstorm when I'm sitting out in the entryway at 6 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking shovel the cars out. Damn it. And I've done it without any gloves or a shitty pair of gloves I picked up at like the local convenience store. And I went, oh, this is awful. My fingers are all sweaty and they're wet and I'm cold. Carhartt waterproof insulated gloves are where it's at. They have a digital grip palm, so you're not going to drop your phone in the snow. They're waterproof. They have a fast dry wicking material inside so that the sweat doesn't stay on your palm and on your fingers. They have a fleece cuff with a wrist strap. And for those that might not have ever dealt with a lot of winter, let me tell you something about a wrist strap and a fleece cuff.
Big. Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than when you're in the middle of doing anything outside in the winter in the snow and you get that snow in the wrist of your gloves. It just ruins your whole experience and you start taking off your glove and shaking it out. Now your hand's all sweaty and cold. It's a lot of problems with that. So use the fleece cuff with the wrist strap. It works out nicely. And they have another feature called a nose wipe. I have no idea what the fuck that is, but I'm interested because my nose drips.
It's for when you're
but what is it? Like
you're outside and I don't know what the function of it is.
Yeah, exactly. I know how to wipe my nose, but I mean, is it like a soft material? I hope, because if it's Velcro, that's gonna rip my shit apart.
Assume it is.
I would say it's something soft and cottony, but you're definitely gonna want to clean that shit off when you get back in the house.
Yeah,
because that's gonna be disgusting. Now I'm rubbing my own nose. So they get those in sizes small to 2XL. So it should fit just about anybody's needs. Get this stuff while you can, because again, we're coming down to the end here. You got a couple of weeks. Check the shipping on any of the items that we talk about. Check the shipping times. A lot of places are putting when you're going to expect to get it. The closer you get to Christmas, the worse it's going to be.
Yeah, the less likely that date will be accurate.
Correct. So get these things while you can. And before we leave today, I have one more thing, because I know my family doesn't listen to the show, unfortunately. So I have finally decided on my, I'm in charge of the stockings usually. Like the wife and I compromise and talk about what we're going to get the kids and grandkids and friends and family. But I handle all the stockings because I love doing those little stupid things like toothpaste and, a travel toothbrush. I like doing shit like that because you never know when somebody's going to need it. Coal. No, I'm not putting coal in there. Good idea though. They did that to my brother when he was younger, and I'm pretty sure that scarred him for life. They really did. I remember seeing his face, so I think that's part of some of his problems. So what I decided to do this year, last year I did wrapping paper, where I got wrapping paper with my face on it, like a stupid gag face. Yeah. So I did that last year. I found something new this year.
I thought I got a gift wrapped in it, but yeah, I remember you sending me a picture of it.
I was going to. I honestly got...
Yeah. Okay.
Shit's expensive. I covered 2 gifts with that thing, and they weren't even big boxes.
Oh, I went and looked at about getting some for myself, and I was like, nope, they live with me. They see my face every day. I'm spending that kind of money.
Well, this year I'm going with air fresheners. So I found a place that'll do custom air fresheners with a stupid face on it, and I'm gonna hand them to all the kids in their stocking and be like, that shit right there, I better see in your car. Because I spent good money on that, and it's an air freshener. You can get it all different scents. I want to get like vanilla on all of them because they don't have like stank breath or cigar smoke or whiskey flavored smell. So I got to go with something. I'm going to go with vanilla. I like that smell. Well, all the kids remember it because that's the only fragrance tree I ever used in my vehicles.
Go with like a really strong pine scent.
I thought about doing that or making, because there was one site that I found that did custom scents, and I'm like, dude, this is going to get a lot of problems right here. Like, this could cause some problems. They're never going to use it. I want them to actually use it. But I thought it was nice because growing up, all the kids, every time I bought a tree for the vehicles, it was always vanilla aroma. So having one that's vanilla with my stupid face on it, I think is going to be epic. And I just hope one of the kids use it.
Continue the trauma. I mean, they'll appreciate the thought.
I like to continue the trauma. Thank you very much. I got them nose flutes one year, and I made them sit in the living room and use them. They're like, how do I use it? I said, shove it in your nose and blow out through your nose, and it makes like a harmonica type sound.
Yeah.
Oh, they were disappointed in me tremendously, and I enjoyed it tremendously. Do you have any gift ideas? Do you have anything that you want to add this week?
No.
No?
Yeah. I mean, other than the good camp axe, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I did see one that I liked. Like you said, it's not short and it's not too long. It's right in
Yeah,
the
it's
middle.
not a full size axe. It's you got a hatchet. It's going to be 18 inches, whatever. A full size axe is a couple feet. This is in between.
Right. I think it was nice that I saw one with a hammer on the other side of the axe,
Mhm.
which I thought was very cool. And then there was there was like a pull-out, almost like the old Rambo knives at the bottom handle that had your standard like cutting cable line and string and all that stuff. And if you're
Right.
camping, that's a great idea. That's a great gift. How much one of those things run?
That depends. I mean, you're looking at 40 up to $100, just depending on what you're looking at.
That's not too bad because it's a handy utility to have.
Yeah.
It's really handy.
I mean, you can get cheaper versions than that, but
Yeah.
for a decent
Be
one.
very still.
Oh no, that ain't happening.
Be still.
No,
It's sticking
no,
way
no,
down
no,
and it's
no, no.
gray. Let me get it.
Oh,
No,
get
no,
it,
no,
get
no,
it.
no, no.
Pluck that nose
No,
out.
what
It's
what
sticking
you
to
should
your
do is get this gift off of our list for
Can I get
men.
it?
No,
Can I get it?
no, you cannot get it.
Oh, my wife does that to me. It
It's
hurts
going
so
up
much.
your nose. Come on, it's just one.
Anyway, no, I've got no other gift ideas.
All right, that's it for this week then. 10's down, show's over.
Whoop, whoop.
So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com. Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.